Arian stepped cautiously into the valley, his heart pounding with a mix of awe and trepidation. The golden glow seemed almost surreal, as if he had entered another world entirely. The fox trotted ahead, pausing at the base of the stone altar, as if awaiting Arian's next move. The carvings on the altar depicted scenes of nature in harmony, birds soaring, rivers flowing, and animals grazing peacefully under the sun. Among the carvings, Arian noticed an inscription in an ancient script he couldn't decipher. As he approached the altar, a sudden gust of wind swept through the valley, causing the flowers to sway rhythmically. It was as though the valley itself was alive, welcoming him yet testing his resolve. Arian placed his hand on the altar, and to his astonishment, the carvings began to glow faintly. A deep, melodic hum filled the air, resonating in his chest like a heartbeat. The fox, now sitting at the foot of the altar, tilted its head and let out a soft yip, breaking the spell of the moment. Arian knelt beside the creature, wondering what it expected him to do. As he gazed into its intelligent eyes, a realization struck him. This valley was not merely a place of beauty. It held secrets, possibly connected to the lives of the villagers and their forgotten history. Driven by curiosity, Arian began to explore the valley further. Among the golden flowers, he discovered ancient artifacts, fragments of pottery, tools, and what appeared to be ceremonial items. It dawned on him that the valley might have been a sacred site for an ancient civilization, perhaps the very ancestors of Suryanagar's villagers. He carefully collected a few items, intending to show them to his grandfather for further insight. As Arian wandered, the golden glow around him seemed to intensify, and the melodic hum grew louder. The fox darted ahead and disappeared into a thicket of flowers. Arian hurried after it, pushing through the dense vegetation until he emerged into another clearing. Here, the air felt charged with energy, and the sight before him was unlike anything he had ever imagined. In the center of the clearing stood a massive tree with golden leaves that sparkled as if dusted with stardust. The tree's trunk was wide and gnarled, exuding an aura of ancient wisdom. At its base lay a pool of water so clear it mirrored the sky above, even though the canopy should have obscured it. The fox sat by the pool, gazing at Arian with an expression that seemed almost expectant. Arian approached the tree, drawn by an inexplicable force. He felt a connection to it, as though it held the answers to questions he hadn't yet asked. As he reached out to touch the bark, a voice, soft yet resonant, filled his mind. It wasn't spoken aloud, but Arian felt its words deep within him. "Seeker of truth," the voice said, "you have ventured far and shown courage. The valley has waited long for one who carries both wonder and respect for its secrets." Arian was stunned, unable to comprehend how he was hearing this. "Who are you?" he asked aloud, his voice trembling. "I am the guardian of this sacred place," the voice replied. "The valley holds the memories of a time when harmony between nature and mankind flourished. But as the world changed, The valley was hidden, awaiting a soul pure enough to rediscover it. Arian felt a surge of responsibility. "What am I supposed to do?" he asked. "Learn," the voice urged. "Carry the wisdom of this place back to your people. The balance between man and nature must be restored, for the future depends on it. But be warned, the valley's secrets are not for all to know. Share them wisely." The connection faded, leaving Arian feeling both awed and burdened by the task ahead. He gazed at the pool, noticing faint images swirling within it, visions of the valley's past, the people who once worshipped here, and the harmony they shared with the land. Reluctantly, Arian turned away from the tree. The fox stood waiting, its tail flicking as if urging him to move. Arian followed it back through the valley, committing every detail to memory. When they reached the entrance, the fox stopped and let out a mournful cry, as though bidding farewell. Arian hesitated, looking back at the shimmering flowers one last time before stepping out of the valley. The journey back to the village was grueling, but Arian felt a newfound sense of purpose. He arrived home at dusk, exhausted yet exhilarated. His grandfather, sitting on the veranda, looked up with a mixture of concern and curiosity. "Where have you been, Arian?" he asked, his voice gentle but firm. Arian smiled, pulling out the artifacts he had collected. "I found it, Grandpa," he said, his voice filled with wonder. "The Golden Valley. It's real." His grandfather's eyes widened as Arian recounted his adventure. As he listened, a look of pride and recognition crossed the old man's face. "The valley chose you," he said softly. "It's a rare honor, Arian. But remember, with this knowledge comes great responsibility." In the days that followed, Arian and his grandfather worked together to decipher the artifacts and the lessons they held. They shared the story with a few trusted villagers, inspiring a renewed respect for nature and the land they called home. Arian's journey became a catalyst for change, encouraging the villagers to adopt sustainable practices and preserve their environment. Though Arian never returned to the valley, its memory stayed with him, a beacon of hope and wisdom. The golden flowers, the ancient tree, and the mysterious fox became symbols of the harmony that could exist between humanity and nature, a harmony worth striving for in a world that had forgotten its roots. And so, the legend of the Golden Valley lived on, not just as a tale of wonder, but as a reminder of the enduring bond between mankind and the natural world. Arian walked through the dense forest, his steps guided by the soft light of dawn breaking through the canopy. The rustling of leaves and occasional calls of distant birds accompanied him, but his attention was on the fox that trotted ahead. Its sleek red fur shimmered in the early sunlight, and its piercing amber eyes seemed to hold a knowledge beyond the ordinary. The fox had appeared at the edge of his village, Suryanagar, the previous night, beckoning him with a mysterious urgency. Though he hesitated at first, curiosity and the legends his grandfather had told him propelled him to follow. The Golden Valley was said to be a place of wonder, a hidden sanctuary where nature thrived in perfect harmony. Few dared to seek it, believing it to be either a myth or a place reserved for the chosen. Yet Arian, with his unquenchable thirst for knowledge, couldn't resist. His grandfather's tales of golden flowers with healing powers, crystal clear streams, and an ancient altar guarded by unseen forces filled his mind as he trudged through the undergrowth. After hours of walking, the fox paused abruptly, its ears twitching. They had reached a clearing where an ancient altar stood, overgrown with moss and vines. The air was charged with an almost mystical energy, and a faint golden glow emanated from the surrounding vegetation. Arian approached the altar cautiously, his heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and unease. Suddenly, the fox stopped and let out a low growl, its body tense and alert. From the shadows emerged a tall figure cloaked in green, their presence commanding, yet strangely serene. The hood of their cloak obscured their face, but their voice carried through the air like a melody tinged with authority. "Who dares enter the sacred Golden Valley?" they asked, their tone both challenging and curious. Arian hesitated, but quickly gathered his courage. Stepping forward, he introduced himself and explained his curiosity and desire to uncover the truth about the valley. He spoke of his love for nature, his admiration for its mysteries, and his determination to see if the legends were real. The figure listened intently, their posture neither hostile nor welcoming. After a moment of silence, they lowered their hood, revealing a face both ageless and wise, with eyes that seemed to reflect the very essence of the valley itself. "I am the guardian of this sanctuary," they said. "The Golden Valley is not merely a place of beauty, it is a sanctuary of balance and harmony. Only those with pure intentions may enter and witness its wonders. But to prove your worth, you must face 3 challenges that will test your heart, your character, and your wisdom." Arian nodded solemnly, prepared to face whatever lay ahead. The first challenge tested his courage. The guardian led him to a narrow bridge suspended over a deep chasm where a roaring river churned far below. The wooden planks of the bridge creaked underfoot, and the ropes holding it swayed with every gust of wind. Arian's heart raced, but he steadied his breath and focused on placing one foot in front of the other. Halfway across, a plank cracked beneath him, causing him to lose his balance momentarily. But the thought of proving his worth kept him moving, and he reached the other side unscathed. The second challenge tested his kindness. In a secluded grove, the guardian pointed to an injured bird lying on the ground, its wing bent at an unnatural angle. "Heal it," they instructed. Arian recalled the lessons his grandfather had taught him about herbal remedies. Searching the valley, he found a cluster of herbs that he recognized for their healing properties. He crushed the leaves into a paste and gently applied it to the bird's wing, splinting it with small sticks. The bird chirped weakly, but soon fluttered its good wing in a gesture of gratitude before hopping away. The final challenge tested his wisdom. Back at the altar, the guardian presented him with a riddle carved into the stone. I am not alive, yet I grow. I have no lungs, yet I breathe. What am I? Arion furrowed his brow, his mind racing. The answer came to him after a moment of reflection. Fire, he said confidently. The guardian nodded, a faint smile playing on their lips. With the challenges complete, the guardian regarded Arion with newfound respect. You have proven your worth, they said. The Golden Valley is yours to explore. But remember, its wonders are not meant to be exploited. The golden flowers, for example, possess immense healing power, but their magic endures only if they are picked with respect and gratitude. Never take more than what you need. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Arion bowed deeply before stepping into the heart of the valley. The sights that greeted him took his breath away. Trees with golden leaves shimmered in the sunlight, and vibrant flowers of every color blanketed the ground. Streams of crystal clear water meandered through the landscape, their gentle babbling a soothing melody. Birds with iridescent plumage flitted from branch to branch, their songs harmonizing with the rustling of leaves. Arion explored the valley with wide-eyed wonder, each step revealing new marvels. As the sun began to set, painting the valley in hues of amber and crimson, the guardian appeared once more. It is time for you to return, they said. Remember, the valley's location must remain a secret. Its sanctity depends on it. Reluctantly, Arion nodded. He bid farewell to the guardian and the fox, who had been his silent companion throughout the journey. With a single golden flower in hand, as a token of his adventure, he retraced his steps through the forest, the memories of the valley etched into his heart. When he reached Suryanagar, his grandfather was waiting for him beneath the ancient banyan tree. Arion shared the story of his journey, leaving out the exact location of the valley as he had promised. His grandfather listened intently, his eyes shining with pride and wonder. You have done something extraordinary, he said. But more importantly, you have grown courage, kindness, and wisdom now guide you. Word of Arion's adventure spread through the village, though he was careful to speak of the valley only in terms of its lessons rather than its location. He became an inspiration to the villagers, encouraging them to respect nature and seek knowledge with pure intentions. The legend of the Golden Valley endured, not just as a tale of mystery, but as a reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and the natural world. Years later, when Arion became a father and then a grandfather, he passed down the story of the Golden Valley to his children and grandchildren, ensuring that its message lived on. Though the valley's location remained a secret, its essence, the values of courage, kindness, and respect for nature, continued to thrive in the hearts of those who heard the tale. And so, the Golden Valley remained a sanctuary, not just of nature, but of the timeless virtues that connect humanity to the world around them.